It's July 12th, the middle of the month. And so what that means is that we still have plenty of time to influence at least 3 people this month. As you guys know, we have the 21-day fix on sale this month, as well as 22-minute hardcore on sale this month. Also, for those of you on this call, we do have our Team Cup starting. And so that is an event held by corporate every, I believe it's a couple times a year they'll hold it. So definitely look out for information for that. It's basically where you come into groups. I believe it's either 4 or 5, I can't remember. But it's small groups, and it's basically going for prizes, and it has a lot to do with how many people collectively you guys can influence in the period that it's going to be hosted. So look out for that information in the team page. You can actually also look on your online office in the frequently asked questions, and you can start forming a team. If you know anyone who you would like to be on a team with, basically it can be anyone, except you can't have more than 1 diamond on the team. So it can't be a group of 2, with 2 diamonds. It has to be at least one, not at least, but if there's going to be a diamond, only 1 diamond. But collectively, just definitely team up. Think about who you would like to be on that team cup with. Okay, with that said, I am looking for, where is Anita? I just saw her. Oh, there she is. She's waving. Awesome. So I am so excited. Anita, our speaker today is someone that honestly I have been watching and just really following since I started as a coach. I started back in July of 2013, and I knew who Anita Miron was at that time. Kind of just when I first started, I was just like, who are the top coaches to follow? And she was definitely up there. A lot of you guys follow her and know her. But I just want to go ahead and just formally introduce her so that she can go ahead, and I do value her time. So she is a mom to Scarlett. She's a husband. Not husband. She's a wife. She's a wife to Eric. And she's a 15-star diamond, 2-time elite. She is a top 10 coach. She is currently ranked number 7 in the network. She is a Success Club 10 legend. And she is going to be talking to us, giving us her tips, and will be sharing with us some of her knowledge that she has over the past couple years as a coach. So Anita, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Hey everybody, can you hear me? Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me on tonight, Stephanie. I am honored to speak to you guys tonight. Like Stephanie said, I've been a coach for 4 years, and for some of you that may seem like decades, but for me it seems like I just got started yesterday. I'm still navigating through this business and trying to figure out what works best for me and what I love about this. So it's always changing, it's always growing, and it's always something that stretches me. And I'm excited for all of you guys. Stephanie told me that most of you are newer coaches, emerald to diamond, maybe some star diamonds in here. And so I want to encourage you, if you're getting discouraged and you think, gosh, it's been 6 months or a year, this business just keeps getting better and better, and you grow and grow, and it gets more and more exciting. I promise, if you just stick it out. So a little bit about me. Stephanie shared my accolades and what I've accomplished as a Beachbody coach within the network. But most importantly, I am a mom. That's my happiest title. It's the title I love the most. It's the title I wear the proudest. I've been a mom for as long as I've been a Beachbody coach. I joined Team Beachbody 2 months after I gave birth to my daughter. I was 210 pounds a day. I delivered her, and I was very, very anxious and depressed. I had postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and was taking medication for that. And I just was gaining and gaining still after having her, and I really didn't know what to do. I had tried everything under the sun. I had tried quick fixes, and just nothing was working. And I saw my friend and now coach Leslie Cordes, you guys might all know who she is, posting on Facebook about her weight loss transformation. Leslie is a great family friend. She lives up the road from me, and we knew each other just because my husband photographed her family's photos. And so I really was desperate for a change. I started as a challenger first, and I signed up for the discount, and part of me kind of figured I'd want to do this coaching thing because it seemed like right up my alley. I love talking to people. I love Facebook. I love social media, and I had a marketing background. So I was like, hey, I can do that. Seems pretty legit. So I got started just in my own personal transformation and working on myself. And I screamed that from the rooftops and was so pumped to share that with people. And over time, I had lost 70 pounds and became a new person. I started reading tons of great books and just working on myself and sharing that with people. And so I decided after some turn of events financially that I wanted to take this business more serious. Not a lot of people know this, but my husband and I were very, very broke. We were in a ton of debt. We were overdrafting our bank account on the regular, could barely pay for groceries. I mean, it was a matter of deciding between groceries and gas on some days. And so I was sick of living that way. I was tired of being strapped for cash. I was tired of not being a success in my life. I knew that you get one life, you get one chance, and it's a gift. And I wanted to do something killer with this one life I had. And I was approaching my 30s and didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. And I knew I was capable of more. I knew I was worth more than struggling all the time. I was created and made for more than that. And so I started to really take my business serious. I reached out to my upline sponsor and I said to her, what do I need to do to become a success at this? And she said, get your rear to Summit, get to Beachbody Summit. And so I made sure that I enrolled in the next Beachbody Summit, and then I became a student. And so there are 10 things in my business that have made me into the success that I am today. And again, I'm still growing. I'm not the most successful Beachbody coach. I never will be. I can always improve. I'm not the best out there. I could always do better. But these are the 10 things that have brought me to where I am today. After 4 years in the business, I am a 15-star diamond. I became a 15-star diamond after 3 years. I'm a 2-time elite top 10. And it should be next month that I'll be a million dollar earning coach. My husband and I make a full-time, this is what we do, full-time income from this. So these 10 things are what got me to this point. So I'm really excited to share that with you. So grab a pen and paper and let's get started on these 10 things. So I don't like to choose one particular thing. I like to kind of go over everything that's made me successful, just because one particular thing didn't make me successful. And I feel like it would be unfair to anybody I spoke to if I only focused on one thing. So I said to Stephanie, I want to talk about all 10. So number one, for most people I hear, so I recruit anywhere between 10 to 30 coaches per month. And so when I have the conversation with them about getting started in their business, there's usually a moment where they say, I'm too afraid to get started. I'm too afraid to take what I've learned and implement it. Or they've learned everything, but they haven't done anything. They're sort of on the sidelines. They haven't posted on their social media. They haven't invited to a challenge group. And so my first number one piece of advice for you is just to throw yourself to the wolves. I know that sounds terrifying. And for a lot of new coaches, there's this whole self-esteem thing that gets in the way. Being afraid of what other people might think. That has to disappear before you're going to become successful in this business. You have to get rid of that fear of what other people think. What could be holding you back is that fear. You could be too scared to be vulnerable, to share what's going on in your life. You may not have it in you at this moment, but it is in you to be able to open up and to share. And you don't have to tell everybody everything, but you can at least tell people about what's changing in your life. If you want to attract customers who want a change, that's what we're doing, right? Then you have to be changing yourself. And if you are not sharing that change with people, you're not going to attract people who want change. Okay? So you have to put yourself out there. You have to be okay with it. And if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to make it. You might as well hop off the call and quit, because you have no business. You have nobody to talk to. You have no customers watching you. Do you think that Target stops sharing their vision and their story? No, you can't either. And you have to start. So if you're brand new, get out there and post a selfie of you with your challenge pack. Get out there and just video, take your phone, set up the camera, and video record yourself working out. Sweaty selfies, whatever it takes, but you're going to inspire somebody. You're not going to annoy people. That's the next thing, is that next part of part one. So part number one, A, get out there and do it. And then B, you're going to inspire somebody. You're not going to annoy people. The people that are annoyed are haters, and you don't want them on your page anyway. Okay. Number two. Okay. Moving on. You have to be willing to treat this like Stephanie treated medical school, right? Stephanie made an investment. She signed up for medical school, and it was do or die. It was, I do this, or I just wasted all this money, or I just put myself into debt for nothing. So I graduated top of my class from UCF in psych. I have no desire to be a psychiatrist. I had no idea why I decided to go into psych. I have no desire to talk to people one-on-one all day about their problems. I chose psych because somebody pushed me to choose a degree. But I spent almost $100,000 on school and graduated top of my class, because when there's a will, there's a way. And the will was me getting the most that I could out of that investment. Do I practice psychology today? No. Will I ever? No. Was it a waste of time and money? Yes. But somehow, some way, I graduated top of my class. And then I was like, sign up for medical school and all that jazz. No, this is not for me. I found out at 25 what was for me, 26, and that was Beachbody. But at that time, I didn't know, but I made it work for me because I made the investment, the time and the money. Okay. And let me rewind. Beachbody is for everybody. It can be for everybody. It's so multifaceted that it can touch anybody at any talent or at any interest. I've got coaches who are excellent teachers, who are excellent preschool teachers, who are excellent high school teachers. They make the best coaches because they're great teachers. They can teach. They love to educate. They love to articulate. I've got coaches who are amazing writers. They can write the most amazing blog posts and Facebook posts, and they attract coaches to them because they're great writers. I've got coaches who are amazing nurses because they have hearts of gold and love to help people. So anything that you like to do, anything that you are good at, Beachbody can feed that. So please don't let that be a discouragement. Don't ever think that this is not for you. Don't ever think this wasn't meant to be, because it absolutely can once you find the part of Beachbody that feeds you. So for me, I love teaching. I love to write, and I love to help people. So it just kind of all worked out that way. But am I really good at, yes, I am good at recruiting. That's because I'm really good at writing. And some people may not think I'm good at writing. I personally love my writing. So there. But I like to write. I've attracted people through my writing and my pictures. Some people are really, so I've had success from that. But am I really good at creating systems for my coaches? Am I really good at challenge groups, systems for my challengers? Am I really good at helping my challengers? No, that's the worst part of my business. It is, but I found a part that works for me and I take off with it. But my point is that you need to be a good student. You've got to invest the time, the energy, and your soul into this because it's so difficult. This is hard. The worst thing I could tell you tonight is that this is easy. This is hard, and Stephanie and myself have put in a lot of work. A lot of work that's worth it. It's work that's meaningful. So when you're treating this like a student and when you're diving all in and you're really mastering this, refer back to number 1, of course, because you can't be in the number 2 all the time and not doing number 1. So you got to be doing 1 and 2 simultaneously. But when you're in the thick of becoming a master at this, don't get discouraged in thinking this isn't for you and you're wasting your time, because this business can be for anybody, but you've got to treat it like you made an investment in a franchise. Okay. So how did you treat college? How did you treat your job? Treat your Beachbody business that way. That's how I did it. The second I decided that this was for me and I figured out that I wanted to do this, it was all in. I was buying books. I was studying books. I was in every training I can get my fingertips on. My upline sponsor saw me on every call. Even if I didn't need it, I was there. And sometimes I still get on her calls. Do I need to listen to the National Wake Up Call? No, I don't. But do I still get on it? I sure do. I am a student of this business, and you should always be a student of this business. So I decided that I was going to treat my business like I treated my job. Some of you are probably thinking, oh, but she probably didn't have a job when she got started. I sure did. I had a full-time job. I worked 50 hours a week. I drove 1 hour a day to work and 1 hour a day home and had a 2-month-old baby and still got to a 6-figure income with Team Beachbody within 18 months. I left my job after 6 months though, because I got to where I needed to be to leave really fast. Okay. And I'll tell you how or why that happened as far as I understand. So number 3, when you're getting started, and I'm doing this all in kind of like chronological order of what you should do when you're getting started, but make sure your goals are known to your family and your friends and everybody, not just your fitness goals, but your business goals. Oh my God, Anna Camacho, is that a cat? That is the cutest cat ever. I just see this cat. That's awesome. Okay, I'm obsessed with cats and I can't have one because I'm allergic. It sucks. Okay, so when you are getting started, you have to have your spouse at least. Oh, another kitty. Look at the kitties. Blair's kitty. I love it. Okay, are other people showing their kitties? Now everybody's going to go get their kitty. Oh, I see a baby. Babies are just as cute as kitties. I have ADD. Anybody else? Okay. So when you are getting started, you need to get your spouse on board at least somewhat, at least for your power hour. Your spouse needs to be able to, there's another Eden. Your kitty's so cute. I love it. I'm going to make a new rule from now on. If I speak on someone's team call, everybody's pets have to be in the video. Cats and dogs. I have 2 dogs. Okay. So talk to your husband, talk to whoever you're living with, and say to them, I need you to be backing me and supporting me at least on this 1 hour a night. Like, for the next 6 months of our lives, babe, we're not watching a movie at night. We're not watching Game of Thrones. Like, we're going to put Game of Thrones on the back burner. Jon Snow will understand. Okay. I'm going to put, reading for fun on the back burner. My books will understand. I am not going to date night. You'll understand. For 6 months, give me 6 months. That's what I said to my husband. Give me 6 months. I need an hour a night. So make sure you have that support, because if you're trying to do this and you're annoying the crap out of everybody on your phone and you're like, oh, sorry, babe, he's going to hate you and Beachbody. So be very careful of that. Number 4, focus on you before you focus on other people. You need to be helping other people, but if you don't have your act right in the kitchen and in your fitness, and you're over here eating bonbons, you are not going to help Sally and Joe get fit with P90X or Insanity. There's no way. They're not going to believe in you as their coach. They're not going to see you as a trusted advisor. and you're not going to know what the heck to tell them. So while you're eating bonbons and donuts, they're over there not trusting you. You have no business. Okay, so you've got to be living proof. You have to be proof the product works. You have to be on a fitness mission. No, you don't have to be shredded and super healthy or super lean, but you need to be somebody with results in any direction of which is healthy. Okay, so if you're already fit, great. Just keep that going. Keep sharing that you are fit. You don't have to have a transformation. If you're already fit, people are going to trust you too. Okay? But you can't help other people if you can't help yourself in your life. So also, on a personal level, if your life is in shambles and you're a hot mess, then you're not going to be able to help anybody else if your life is a complete wreck. So you've got to be doing personal development. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you need to be reading books that help you up here, not just on the business level of like how to organize myself, how to operate on the compound effect. That's all very important to read the compound effect and how to time manage, but you need to read books that feed your soul and help you to become a better person and get your act together. Okay, you need to become more organized in your life. There are so many great books I could suggest. I could go on and on and on and on and on. But you have to get your life right. Like you need to be on Project Life. Like Project Get Your Life in the fitness and in the up here before you can help anyone else. So whether that be, changing your foods to eating cleaner, better foods, working out more, reading more personal development, getting 8 hours of sleep, fixing your relationship with your spouse, getting your car fixed, making sure you get the laundry done, stuff like that. I don't know. Whatever is like pulling your focus away from being a better version of yourself, you need to get it right. Number 5, all of this stuff being said, number 1 through 4 is all fine and dandy, but if you are not sharing your life and what you're doing and what's happening in your what's changing, what's developing, what's successful in your business and successful in your challenge groups and in your fitness, you aren't going to inspire anybody. You have to put yourself out there on social media. You have to post every single day. You have to do it on multiple social media platforms because guess what? Facebook is not enough alone. For a little bit it is. For a new coach, you should focus primarily on your Facebook, your personal page. But you need to start sharing your story on other things eventually. But start on Facebook and don't be afraid to become vulnerable. Put yourself out there. You will get haters. You will get people who don't like what you're doing. Why? Because you're challenging what's comfortable for them. And anytime you challenge what's comfortable for somebody else, they are going to challenge you because they don't like to feel uncomfortable. So it basically feeds in to their belief, their limiting belief, by knocking you down. So don't let that deter you. You're going to have people that are going to do that to you. Focus on your journey. Post what you think is positive and helpful for people, and focus on the people that are inspired. So I just posted a picture of my new tattoo. Somebody didn't like it. I knew that was going to happen. Somebody was like, no, I think this is wrong. Why does everybody like this? Whatever. That's her opinion. Great. But I can sit and focus on her horrible opinion about me, which I think is horrible. She doesn't think it's horrible. It's all, perspective. It's my perspective. I love my tattoo. So she has every right to say that. But I could fall into the trap of believing her and hating my tattoo and stepping back from sharing my journey on social media and my story and allowing her to rule my day. Or I could focus on the 55 or whatever, I'm at 35 or 45 other comments that are positive. That's a bigger, example, but like say you have a picture of you doing a workout and somebody says something hatery and 5 people say something positive. what you're naturally going to do is hone in on that negative comment and ignore all the positive stuff. Don't do that. Focus in on the positive stuff. All right. But, if your post is legitimately like insulting or whatever, then yeah, okay, take it down. But if it's not, and it's about you and it's about getting your life right and inspiring and motivating other people, good. Keep doing it. All right. Number 6, none of this matters in your team Beachbody business unless you are adding to your network. Okay. So we can talk all day long about mindset and visualization and dreaming big and getting out there and posting. But if you are not adding, who's going to see that stuff? Back to Target. Target is always getting in front of people. They're always They're always putting commercials up on television. You see Target Corporation ads all the time. And do you think that they decided that 5 friends on Facebook or 5 followers on Facebook was enough? Heck no. You need to be in a constant operation, add more people to my network every single day. And it can't just be like a couple, because that's not enough. It's not fast enough to build a following. You've got to be adding a few more than that. Okay. And get with Stephanie or your upline sponsor on great ways to add to your network, because it's unlimited. And if you can't figure it out, that's on you, because there's so many ways to figure it out. There's so many ways to add to your network. It's not even funny. Like, you should be able to figure it out. It's out there. You can go on YouTube and search how to add to my Facebook friends list for Beachbody coaches. I mean, there's so much on YouTube you could search. Number 7, when it comes to your coaches, be a support, be a friend, but do not be a manager. Once you get that coach, your new coach, it's all too easy and way too appetizing to start pulling back from your recruiting and your success club, adding to getting success club. It's way too easy to pull back from that and start honing in on that one coach. You have to be adding coaches. So when you add a coach, let them navigate through the training. There's training in the online back office. There's training on your team. Let them go through that. And you just be a friend and a support and guidance, but don't be somebody that's micromanaging your team. That's a waste of your time. That's like, if I were to give you any, major piece of advice on building a team, it would be to not micromanage, but rather support and love on your people. They need to feel that. You need to feel that. Okay. Number 8. None of this other stuff matters 1 through 7 without number 8. You have to be consistent on all this stuff. It did not take me 30 days to get where I am. It didn't take me 6 months to get where I am. Where I am took me 3.5 years of doing the same mundane thing over and over and over and over again. I was hitting Success Club no matter what since day 1. I missed 1 month in Success Club, and that was my 2nd month. So I've always hit Success Club 10 and above. 10 and above. I don't even know how many months that is. But I knew as long as I just hit that monthly goal, no matter what, I can make this work. It will happen. It will pop. If I can just get to Success Club 5 to 10, my business will pop. What am I talking about that will pop? Well, I'm not talking about just making it to Diamond and making a couple $100 a week. I wanted to make $10,000 a week. I wanted to be that coach. I wanted to make $1 million with this. I wanted to set my family free from financial burden and stress, and I wanted to be successful financially. I wanted to rock it out. So I knew as long as, no matter what, I hit that monthly goal, helping 5 people every month, it will pop, and it did. So you have to figure out every month, whatever it takes, on how to get to Success Club. What am I going to do? What sacrifices am I going to make? What education am I going to go through? Who am I going to invite? What door am I going to knock on? What phone call am I going to pick up? Who am I going to call? Who am I going to add to my network? Who am I going to invite? You've got to be doing all these things. Okay. There were months, guys, where I was at SC2 at 11:30 p.m. on the last day of the month. And I was hauling my rear end to get there, and I made it. Okay? So don't ever give up. Don't give up on Success Club. All right, number 9. For those of you who have been in this for a little while, comparison is a trap. Comparison on a small level, on a lower level, is okay, a little bit, because you need to see what other people are doing to challenge yourself a little bit. Comparison is okay when you're using it in a healthy way for inspiration and motivation, to become inspired by your fellow coach. That's okay. But when you are using it, comparison, to knock yourself down, to fill your head with negative self-talk and lies about yourself, that's when it becomes bad, and you have to knock it out. Your business is your business. How somebody else does it is their thing. And you don't know what somebody's history was before they got started as a coach, and you don't know what their life is like at home. So don't compare your story to their story, okay? Like I said, a little bit's fine by getting, just to get some inspiration and motivation. But other than that, don't pick somebody out of the crowd and start knocking yourself down, tearing yourself apart. Oh, here's a great example. When I got started, Lindsay Matway was top coach, or she was like number 2 in the company, and then she became top coach. Of course, I went and looked up who the top coaches were at that point. We all do. And I saw Lindsay Matway and I saw Janelle Summers. They were 2 tall, ripped, fit blondes. They both had blonde hair. They were both absolutely stunning. And I said to myself in the beginning, the first 6 months, which was very bad, I should never have done this. And it's what caused my success to take a little bit longer. I looked at them and said, I can't do this because I don't look like that. But who knew that there were, I don't know how many personally sponsored coaches I have, but there were girls out there who weren't blonde, and looked like them, who needed me as their coach, who needed who I looked like, who I acted like. You are a coach for somebody. Somebody out there needs you and your style and your personality and what you love. So, Lindsay, Janelle would not have been my coach. They are not my coach. That's not who I relate to. Who I related to is Leslie. She was who I related to. And who my coaches relate to is me. And had I continued to let that deter me, I would not have been successful. So I just got busy being me and being as much of me as I could possibly be and putting that out there. And who knew that people actually liked me? And people will like you too, as long as you're vulnerable and you put yourself out there and you're real. So number 10, don't sell yourself short. This ties back to comparison. This ties back to negative self-talk. You and I have the same exact 24 hours in the day. We have the same opportunity in front of us. I am no more gifted, talented, special, or whatever than you are. All 49 of you are gifted, talented, special in your own way. And you can apply that to Team Beachbody and be successful. You can choose to decide that you're not good enough. You can choose to decide limiting beliefs that you are a certain look or a certain way and just can't be successful. But that's not true. And the second you decide and you firmly believe it's not true and you run with this and you run with who you are and you're loud and proud about it and you put that out there and you stay true to your message, and you're not afraid to invite because you believe in what we have to offer. When you're not afraid to, oh my God, your cat, Anna, so cute. He's like, I got cat ADD over here. When you decide that you're good enough, Beachbody is awesome. Our challenge packs are an incredible value and everybody should get on it. And you believe that at the core of your soul. you will be successful. You have to become a walking, talking billboard for yourself and through your business, through Beachbody. You have to have so much belief about this incredible company, what we have to offer, and what you have to offer as a coach, that people can't help but want to join you. You have to be infectious. How do you become infectious? You put yourself out there and you believe. And you knock out the limiting crap you tell yourself about not being good enough, not being pretty enough, not being tall enough, not being thin enough, not being smart enough, not being talented enough, not being funny enough. You're enough. You're enough for somebody. You just have to believe it. Mic drop. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Anita. I want to open it up. Does anyone have any questions for Anita? Any questions at all? I'm sure she'll be happy to answer. If you have any questions related to what she talked about or specifically about just anything, kind of in the business or anything like that. I know, Anita, one thing that I absolutely 100% agree and can't even say enough is that you really have to, I like what Anita says, you have to be a walking billboard of yourself. When I started, I wanted to get in shape. And I always said, if I could get into the best shape of my life, this whole business would be worth it. But never did I imagine that it would give me my best life, that it would offer me the opportunity for my best life. And that, I am a walking billboard for that. And that's why I feel 150% confident behind our team, behind our team Beachbody, what we have to offer, because I believe that. I believe that, like Anita's saying, and how you guys need to believe to the core of who I am. Let's see. Emily Eastwood says, what are your favorite personal development books?
Oh, good question. Gosh. I love them all. See, there's no such thing as one perfect personal development book, because at every point in my life, I need something different. And every point in my business, I need something different. Currently, what I need and I'm loving is the Happiness Project. This is such a fun book. It teaches you how to be happy. For the business, I just love the Compound Effect. It changed my life. Like, that book's so simple. It so changed so much of my life. I applied a compound effect to everything. I know if I put in small, behaviors every single day, it'll compound to great things. GoPro, it's a great book for this business. Girl Code is really fun and good. Girl Code. I love it.
All right, let's see. It says here, Tony, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question about the groups? We'll see if she gives her a second to unmute.
Yes. Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Anita, Miron, can I just say that I used to spend all night watching your YouTube videos. I wouldn't even launch my first free challenge group for clean eating until I watched like 8 of your instructional videos. And it made such a difference for me. I felt so confident. I took notes and made a video just like yours to put in my group. It made me feel better. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. So all that stuff you used to do that you probably forgot about, I devoured it.
Oh, love it.
Okay, so my question is about that. Okay, so I got away from challenge groups because I found them exhausting as far as free, eating and all that. We're getting back to basics. What do you have to say about, should we still just have our free group or our so-and-so? I mean, what's your advice on that 4 years in?
Oh, gosh. Are you 4 years in? All right, girl. I'm going to be real.
Be real.
I'm 4 years in, so yes, I can stop clean eating groups. But you should not. I did free cleaning groups for 3.5 years. I stopped recently. I'm just being honest, because of life events. So if I were to talk to my coach and she said that, I'd be like, get your butt back on free cleaning groups. They don't have to be clean eating. I love crock-pot groups, or try like intermittent fasting groups, or low carb, high fat groups, or water challenge, ab groups, budget your bank account groups, whatever is going to get people thinking, dang, she's got some really great things to offer and I really want to be a part of her life. They are exhausting, and yes, they seem annoying, but you're going to get that one or two. Some of my highest quality coaches were in free groups because they came to me out of this like genuine need and want to have a relationship with me and to change their life. And you don't just want anybody as a coach. You want a coach that really wants this and has a genuine love for it. And the free clean eating or free any group is going to be a great way to attract the right person who wants a change, who wants your help. So it's a great way to add to your network too. If you share with your friends and family and your social media, hey, you go in my group and you bring one person with you, you'll have a chance to win a prize. That's a great way to meet 20 new people just like that. Or add 20 new friends because they all added a friend. They're not coaches. They're your potential customers now. That's how I added a ton of people to my network in the beginning, was these free groups, because I would say to everybody in the group, go ahead and share this first assignment. Share this free group to your social media news feed and invite all your friends to it. What do you think I did to all those people that added themselves? I added them as friends. Boom, 50 new friends, just like that. That's how I got to 5,000 friends on my Facebook. I ran a group every week, like clockwork, a different type of group. Invite your friends, invite your friends, invite your friends. And boom, I started adding tons and tons of people. So hope that answers your question. Get back on the free groups.
Well, I knew you would say that. So thanks, Mom. Thank you.
Leah says, was there a mental shift that happened when you were pushing for top 10, or was it still the same things, the basics that you just kept pushing for?
Oh, okay. So when I pushed for top 10, I just opened my email one day randomly and was number 50 in the company. And I was like, oh, wow. Just by doing all the basic stuff, I was number 50. And so I wasn't working as hard as I work now. I wasn't doing this full time. I was still part-time. I was still at my job. So I got somebody from corporate reached out to me and said, you're number 50. Would you like to push for top 25? I was like, I have no idea what that would entail, but okay. So I added more people to my network. I did more free groups. I connected with more people. I read more personal development. I invited like crazy and followed up like a mad woman. And it pushed me to number 10 in the company 3 months later. And then a month later, I was number 4. Because I just did all the basics just on turbo fuel. I mean, I quit my job right when I found out I was number 50 because my income had gone to full time. And I asked my husband, let's take this leap of faith. So I quit my job and started doing this full time. So I did all the basics on like turbo fuel. So I hope that answers your question.
And then Aurora says, how do you push yourself to do those things you hate about the business?
I don't hate anything about this. That's my mindset. That's something I decided to believe because there's things that aren't as fun. And I could call that hate, but I have to be careful of the words I use regarding the business because the words you use can get in the way of your mental mindset of you loving this. I'm not telling you to trick yourself into loving it. I'm just telling you to use different words. So the parts of the business that I don't love as much as other parts, I ask for other people to help me get better at those things. I ask for other coaches on my team to do them with me. So challenge groups are not my cup of tea, but I don't hate them. They're just not what I'm really good at. They're not what I'm passionate about. So I've asked other coaches on my team who are really good at it to run the group with me and give me advice. I mean, I reached out to other incredible coaches in the network and said, give me tips on how to run challenge groups. I've watched every training. And no, I like them a little bit more. So it just, it depends. But yeah, absolutely need to get your team involved on things that you aren't, loving, and have them get involved with you.
Let's see. What's the best way to motivate your team to stay consistent that you've noticed?
I learned the hard way that you cannot motivate your team. You can encourage and you can support their efforts. So they have to want this really bad. And you have to meet them in the middle and guide them and tell them that it's consistency. If they cannot do that, if they cannot stay consistent, it's because they don't want to. And you can't make somebody want this. So you can motivate to a certain extent if they want this. So you have to encourage, but for them to stay consistent, you just have to let them know it's consistency. And if they don't want to do it, move on to someone else that does.
How do you teach your new coaches the best way to add to their network?
There are so many training videos on YouTube, and there's so many ways to add to your network. I could go on for hours on how to do it. So I just say, go to YouTube, search how to build your network, how to add to your network as a Team Beachbody coach, and watch all the videos. Every top coach has a video on it. You can learn from 20 different top coaches on 20 different ways and do all 20. Or you can do 1 or 2 at a time and try them all out and see what works best for you, but everybody's different on what works.
Let's see. How do you, Emily's asking you, how do you cold invites, forming private messages just to get to know people? I guess, especially in the beginning when you were.
Yeah, I just shot off a message. Hey girl, I don't know if you've seen my health and fitness rants on Facebook, but I'm hosting this group. Guys, this is where free groups come in. I never invited to a regular challenge group, really. I did all these free groups and invited to free groups, and everybody said yes. I hardly ever got told no. And then in the free group is where I did the inviting. It was never really cold. I earned the right to ask because I gave them something for free. I gave them a free meal plan. I gave them a free workout. I gave them tips on drinking water, tips on getting healthier. And within the group, I would go and I would invite them. And I would say, hey, thanks for being a part of my free group. I'm so glad you got so much out of it. What do you think about moving on to the next 30 days with me? Isn't that so much better than saying, knock, knock, we don't know each other, buy something from me? You're gonna get denied and declined and avoided like 50,000 times over. So free groups.
And then Sophia, she's asking, what's the best method you've used to mentor working coaches?
If that's not clear, can you hear me?
Yes.
Just like the coaches who are actually showing up, setting goals, doing the basic things, who are wanting to push for whatever the next milestone is for them. Do you do weekly calls, or do you have them do assignments? Like, is there any kind of mentoring method that you've found has been effective for helping really lead a team, I guess?
Yeah, no, I have not, because the people that want it just do it and they get good at it because they want it. So they study and they motivate themselves. What I do as a leader is I do calls like this and we just talk. We just support each other. I give them feedback. They ask me questions. It comes down to their question asking, and I answer the questions. I'm there to give them feedback on what they're doing, but I never really put them through a system. I do put my brand new coaches through a system of the new coach training, or the coach basics in the online back office. But when it comes to coaches who are pushing for diamond, pushing for elite, pushing for whatever, I just have conversations, everyday talk with them, everyday chatter. We're just like, hey, how are you? Like, what's going on? And they ask me what works, what doesn't, and I'm just there to support. So that's what this is all about, is relationship building.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, Anita, because I think, there are a lot of coaches on here, there's a good handful of coaches on here who have had coaches come on and they're really trying to build that team. And I think it genuinely comes down to the person, like you said, the new coach, the person, the new entrepreneur, like they have to want that success. They have to be willing to, like you said, to always be the student, to always be looking for the answers, to be studying, to be asking themselves, how can I do better? And, our roles as coaches when it comes to mentoring is really kind of, I like what you said, like they have to get good at asking the right questions, to come to us with specific questions, but not necessarily relying on us to kind of like hold their hand and show them every single step of the way, step by step. That's not how this works. And I think for especially some of my coaches on here now and myself as well, it's that reminder to us that you can't motivate, like she said, you can't, like you said, you can't motivate your team. You can only support them, you can guide them, you can lead by example, but that consistency, that motivation has to come from the coach themselves. Anna's asking, so from your Facebook like page, do you promote your group, did you promote a free group, or do you create a new free group and then promote that?
I promote a new free group every time, and I private message invite to that free group. I do event pages. I don't do this anymore, but fact of the matter is people come to me now to sign up as coaches, so I don't do these things anymore. That took me 3.5 years to get there. But for the first 3.5 years, I hosted these groups and I would private message invite. I would do, an event page. I would post on my like page about it, and I would post for days about it. I hope that answers your question.
And one question I have for you, Anita, is for yourself, now that you're 4 years in, like you said, how do you, I'm assuming you come across this where you have coaches who come in, they see your success, and they don't see the 4 years of hard work. And then they kind of get frustrated when they're not seeing that success in a month, 6 months. What's the advice that you give them? Is it just kind of what is the advice that you give them when they're looking at you and they want what you have? They want your same success. They want the same number of likes. They want the same number, the same amount of income that you make, kind of sometimes forgetting, I think, all the hard work that you put in.
Yeah. I remind them of, remember, there's 4 years behind me. There's 4 years of days that you don't understand what I went through or what I did. And you don't understand what the network was like when I got started. Beachbody was even different when I got started. There was only 150,000 coaches. Things were also a little bit different when I got started too. I don't know how to really describe that, but you can't compare. It's not the same thing. It's totally different. My journey is not the same as somebody else's. So, for example, I've got a single mom on my team who has been a coach for 2 years, and she constantly says to me, why am I not where you were at 2 years? I was already top 10 and almost was 10-star and making 6 figures. And she wants to know why that's not her. And I said, I had spouse support. My husband quit his job. I quit my job. We put our child in daycare. Like, our life circumstances were different. So what took me 4 years may take you 7. Everybody's different. What took me 4 years took another coach that I know who's even more, earns more money than I do, 2.5 years. Why did it take her 2.5 years and took me 4? I can't answer that. Our lives are completely different. So I had a young baby. I had a full-time job. It's, totally different.
Awesome. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Anita, for coming on and speaking with our team. Thank you. Are you, I'm trying to remember if you're speaking at Summit. I'm not sure, but
I chose not to because I'm supposed to have a baby.
Right. Okay.
So I was supposed to have a baby today. So I wouldn't have been able to speak at Summit. So yeah.
Well, I thank you for coming on today. I know today's been a hard day for you. And so just thank you so much for taking this time, especially today, and just, you know, and showing up even sometimes when you don't want to, even on your social media, because you really do inspire many of us, you know, across the network. And I know I speak for myself, I speak for my team, I speak for other teams who genuinely appreciate your authenticity and your willingness to always share your story, your struggles, the good, the bad, because your leadership is very much appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys.
Awesome. All right, guys. All right. So next time, and thank you guys for coming on, and I'll see you next week. Bye.